and gentlemen, the PPYC players welcome you. For your listening pleasure, we once again bring you old-time radio from the Goodman and Jane Ace comedy series, Easy Aces, which aired from 1931 until 1945 and from 1948 until 1949. Our program is titled Jane Goes to the Psychoanalyst, but perhaps it should be titled Who's on First, What's on Second, and I Don't Know is on Third. I'll leave the choice up to you. Now let's begin our story. It all began when Jane insisted she had to go to a psychoanalyst. After a week of visits and with a little rest and care, I'm happy to announce that the psychoanalyst will be out in a few months. Psychoanalysis, you know, was developed by Freud late in the 19th century, but it never got popular until it was taken over by Fox in the 20th century. Jane's interest in the couch started the other day when she met a friend, Margaret Norris, downtown, and they had a chat about psychoanalysis. It went something like this.
Well, Jane Ace, good morning.
Margaret, long face no see.
Yes, where are you going, Jane?
Just fine.
Well, how have you been?
Just up to the corner to match this material for a dress.
Oh, well, that's good.
I hardly recognized you, Margaret. It's that lovely sweater you're wearing, I guess.
Oh, my sweater. Do you like it?
You looked stunned.
Jane, I've never worn a sweater before I started going to my psychoanalyst. He told me my subconscious mind kept me from wearing it, and he made me get rid of my inhibitions. He did a good job on me, I can tell you that.
Oh, yes, he certainly fitted it well.
His name is Dr. Montel.
Doctor who?
Montel, Montel. He adjusts all your mental conflicts. It's done wonders for me, Jane. Every night I offer up thanks for Freud.
For who?
Freud, Freud. He's the man who founded psychoanalysis. Oh, what Dr. Montel could do for you, my dear. He'll tell you everything that's on your mind.
Well, all I have on my mind now is this material I want to get matched for a dress.
Oh, no, I mean on your subconscious mind. Things you don't even know are there yourself. For instance, look at me and Jonathan. He's as devoted a husband as you'll find anywhere. And still, in spite of all of his devotion, it has left me, shall I say, apathetic.
All right.
Well, last week, for instance, he said to me, Margaret, you're certainly looking well. It was then I realized I had to go see a psychoanalyst because my subconscious mind said to me, yes, he thinks you look well now, but how long will he think you look well? That's when I decided I needed to see Dr. Montel. And what he's done for me, he told me what makes me tick. My dear, you simply must go to him at once.
First, I have to get this material matched for a dress.
Oh, I don't mean just this minute. You'll have to make an appointment. He's so busy and so handsome. You can see what he's done for my mental conflicts.
Yes, you're so cheerful and so ravenous looking in that sweater. Maybe I will go.
Well, tell him I sent you. Do you remember the name?
Oh, sure. Margaret Norris.
No, I mean the doctor's name. Dr. Montel.
Oh, yes. Freud.
All through dinner that evening, Ace noticed there was something on Jane's mind, if you'll pardon the four-letter word mind. After dinner, as Jane sat on the sofa staring into space, Ace sat in his easy chair staring into space. They stared into each other's space until finally Jane spoke.
Dear, how do I look to you?
Look vapid.
Oh, yes, but how long will I look that way?
Well, according to insurance statistics, your life expectancy is about,
No, you're getting off the subject. Do I look good to you? That's what I want to know. Now, come on. I want your candid opinion.
Well, my candid opinion is that you look very sweet. Wonderful.
Oh my, I've got it too.
I beg your pardon. What have you got?
Mental conflicts. MENTAL.
What, isn't that awful? What are you talking about?
I'm going to a psychoanalyst first thing in the morning.
To a psychoanalyst? Jane, you amaze me.
Not now, dear. Let me tell you why I decided to go to him. This morning, I ran into Margaret Norris.
Hard, I trust.
She told me she's been going to a psychoanalyst, and you should see what he's done for her. She's wearing a sweater.
She went to a psychoanalyst so she could wear a sweater.
She got rid of all her exhibitions.
Well, not in the sweater, she didn't.
And just now, when you said to me how wonderful I look, it left me, shall I say, apathetic?
Apathetic?
A-P-A-T.
Will you stop spelling at me? I know apathetic. And you're not going to a psychoanalyst.
He doesn't give you a medicine, you know. I tell him what's on my mind, and then he tells me what's on my mind.
Well, Jane, he wouldn't have much of a target.
Don't you understand, dear? When you told me just now I look wonderful, and I felt, shall I say, apathetic, that means something.
It means you look wonderful.
Yes, but how long will you think I look wonderful?
How long?
See, even you're beginning to wonder.
No, I'm not. Jane, we have no money to throw away on foolishness like that. These doctors, they're expensive.
Yes, but look what he does for you. He told Margaret Norris all about herself. He told her what makes her thick.
And she is. Jane, if you go to this guy, you'll wind up in a straitjacket.
Well, if he fits it for me as well as he did her sweater.
So the next morning, Jane got up bright and early and went to see the psychoanalyst. Correction, if I may. The next morning, Jane got up early and went to see the psychoanalyst. The doctor was ready for her with pencil and couch.
And you say Mrs. Norris sent you to see me?
Yes, she did, Dr. Montel.
Mrs. Norris? Oh, yes. She had a deep-seated neurosis. Why will people permit their neuroses to become so deep-seated? If they would only come to me earlier.
Well, you said 11:30, Dr. Montel.
Mrs. Ace, for your first visit, I'll take your case history. Are you comfortable on that couch?
Oh, this is fine. Thank you. I like your office. Everything Mrs. Norris told me about you is certainly true, Dr. Montel. She said you were handsome.
Oh, really? Well, now, I don't...
And may I return the compliment and say, I think you're handsome too?
Well, now, so much for the doctor. Let's get to the patient. Tell me about yourself, Mrs. Ace.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm handsome exactly, but my husband thinks
Let's not discuss your husband for our first visit. Let's stick to you. Tell me, how do you feel? Generally, I mean.
Well, physically, if you'll pardon the expression, I feel fine. But it's the mental conflicts that get me.
What mental conflicts?
Like when my husband said last night that I look wonderful, my unconscious said, how long will I look that way?
Aha!
Aha!
Something on the order of Mrs. Norris's anxiety neurosis. Well, I see I'll have to prescribe you the same as I did for her.
Yes, I guess so, except that I want a much smaller size than she does.
What?
What?
Mrs. Ace, tell me, how long have you had these thoughts when someone compliments you on your appearance?
Since I saw Mrs. Norris yesterday.
Oh, then I'm sure yours is a mild case, and I can cure you in this one visit.
But if I'm always going to say how long to myself,
You won't always have to say that. I'm sure you won't. Mrs. Ace, I think you are a very charming woman.
well, thank you, Dr. Montel. I guess it's this new blouse I'm wearing.
There, you see? You accepted my flattery without a single thought to the contrary passing through your mind.
Yes, sir, I did.
You're cured, Mrs. Ace. It was a simple case. You don't need a psychoanalyst, but I'm glad you got here when you did. Most people wait until it's too late.
Well, I'm glad I got here at the psychopathic moment.
Yes, and there are too many more important cases in these troubled times. What did you say, Mrs. Ace? When you got here at what moment?
The psychopathic moment.
Psychopathic.
Yes. Well, goodbye, doctor. How much do I owe?
Oh, no. Just a moment, Mrs. Ace. Lie back down, please.
What happened?
Say that again. You got here when? Say it.
Dr. Montel, you're scaring me. You're getting my berries balled up.
Getting your what?
Doctor, let me up. You're making a mountain out of Mohammed.
A mountain out of Mohammed?
Is something wrong?
Lie back, Mrs. Ace. You're a most interesting case.
I am, huh? I had a tuition there was going to be trouble in the offering.
Tuition? Offering. Yes, most interesting. Mrs. Ace, there is some force at work on your mind which telegraphs twisted and hastily visualized words to your tongue. What is that force? That's what I want to find out. In the interest of research, would you come to me for an hour every day and tell me the story of your life from as far back as you can remember? Just 1 hour every day. Will you come?
Sure, if you think I have to.
Yes. Very interesting case. We'll have our first hour now. Lie back, Mrs. Ace, and tell me the story of your life from as far back as you can remember.
Well, let me see. I'll start with my 5 years in high school.
4 years, Mrs. Ace.
Not me, doctor.
That night, Ace refused to listen to anything Jane had to say about her visit to the psychoanalyst. But Jane found an interesting audience in her mother, who was now living with them. I should tell you a bit about Jane's poor mother. She's in the last stages of a big appetite. She's been to every doctor in New York, including one veterinarian in Flushing. That was the day she felt she was sick as a dog. And she takes dozens of different medicines. There's one medicine she takes every hour on the hour called Jack Daniels. She claims it's formulated from an ancient Indian remedy prescribed for conditions like hers. So when Jane mentioned having gone to a doctor, her mother looked up quickly and said,
"So, the doctor said you've got psychoanalysis? It sounds exciting, Janie. Did he give a prescription?"
No, Mother. He's not like the doctors that give you medicine and take x-rays and put you in an oxidal tent.
What kind of a doctor is that?
He's a psychoanalyst. He cures the mental conflicts and he makes you happy.
Well, if it makes you happy to be happy, be happy. Personally, any doctor who won't give you medicine is a fraud.
That's right. F-R-E-U-D. He tells me what's on my mind. He can see right into my brain. Dear, now you stop that.
I didn't say anything.
Well, I don't like your altitude about this whole thing. Stay out of this.
And I don't like your spending money on psychoanalysis.
Money? After all, what is money for if not to spend on doctors? I always say it's better to be well for one day than sick for 2 weeks.
I'm not sick, Mother. Look, here's the whole thing in a nut house.
Just tell me about the doctor, Janie. He sounds very interesting.
A good question, Mother. And the answer is, he certainly is. And the handsomest you ever saw, with office to match. Tall, dark brown hair.
I've always wanted a tall office with dark brown hair.
And when he smiles, oh boy.
What? No teeth?
Dear, what did I tell you?
You said stay out of it.
Well, do it. Where was I?
The doctor, Janie. Does he have a regular doctor's office?
Oh, sure. Like every doctor's office. Young nurse, old magazines, and you have to lie back on this couch and he has there and talk to him. There's a table on either side of the couch. On one table, cigars. On the other, cigarettes. And he says to me, lie down and relapse. So I did. And he said, I want you to tell me the story of your life from as far back as you can remember. You can smoke if you want to, he said. So I took a cigar and started to talk.
Took a cigar?
It's in my bag. I'll give it to you later.
Oh, for me.
You see, I'm always thinking of you, and you sit there making sarcastic remarks.
So, what did you talk to him about? Did you tell him where it hurts you?
Oh, no, Mother. I told him about what I did when I was in high school. It wasn't very interesting. He yawned a couple of times, but I can take a hint. So tomorrow when I go, I'm going to make up a story to tell him.
Make up a story?
Well, I'm certainly not going to sit there boring him for a full hour every day. So tomorrow, I'm going to make up a story out of whole wheat. He said it's a good thing I went to him early as I did. Most people wait until it's too late, like Margaret Norris, for instance. Do you want me to become deep-seated like Margaret?
No, Jane, that I don't.
Well, now it's Friday, appointment day. Jane hurries down to the psychoanalyst's office to continue telling him the story of her life. Since she noticed he yawned through most of the story she told him yesterday, she has made up a lot of exciting things to tell him today. Things that never happened. Things she just knows will definitely hold his interest. This is the day which will set back psychoanalysis 25 years, one which became known in medical circles as Black Freud Day.
Well, that's it, Mrs. Ace. Just lie back and relax, and we'll take up where we left off yesterday. I hope we can do as well today as we did during our first hour.
Oh, this is going to be a thriller-diller, Dr. Montel.
Yes, well, let's take it from after your high school graduation.
Yes. Well, sir, doctor. Oh, you're going to like this. It was the summer I graduated. The heat was on, and we were driving home from a party. Sally Anderson and I and two fellows. The fellow she was with later left town. The fellow I was with later became Mr. Ace, my husband. You see, Sally and I always double dated. We've been insufferable friends for years.
Insufferable? Uh-huh.
Oh, yes. Always together like a couple of Simonized twins.
Simonized. Yes, go on.
Yes, sir. Well, we were in the car and one of the boys was driving, the one in front. I was in front with him. Sally was in the back with the other one. We were singing and laughing, Shine On, Harvest Moon. You know how school kids are, full face and fancy free.
Full face? Uh-huh.
Yes, you know, just out for a good time. Not wild or anything like that. Or would you prefer wild?
What's that?
No, I guess you wouldn't. Well, we were driving along when alongside our car came another car, and in that car was another boy I used to go with, and he was jealous that I was out with Mr. Ace, who later became my husband. So I leaned over to Sally in the front seat and I said, "Isn't that Roy?" And she said,
Just a moment, Mrs. Ace. You said before that you were in the front seat.
"Did I?" Well, she leaned over to me in the front seat and I said, "Isn't that Roy?" Is that better?
Yes, I believe it is.
And Sally said, "Yes, I believe it is." Well, Roy was so mad I was out with Mr. Ace, who later became my husband, that he wasn't watching where he was driving, and he almost bumped into us. He looked kind of wild, almost Bismarck, you might say.
Uh-huh.
Aha. So, Mr. Ace, the one who later became my husband, started to drive faster to get away from him. And pretty soon, we were both going so fast. Well, I'll tell you how fast we were going. We were 12 miles from town, and would you believe we made it in 8 miles?
You made it in 8 miles?
8 miles if I'm a day. And then to clap the climax, we suddenly heard the whistle of a train coming around the hill. Oh, I forgot to tell you, there was a hill around the bend, and we were going to cross the tracks. But there we were, going like bats out of a belfry.
Belfry? Yes.
And we were going so fast, we couldn't stop. And the train was going even faster. We couldn't hear the train whistle. Woo, woo! And we were going, ooh, oh! We all knew that if something didn't happen, this was the end. Well, goodbye, doctor. I'll see you tomorrow.
Wait a minute. What happened?
My hour is up, doctor. To be continued tomorrow.
Well, the story Jane made up out of whole wheat turned out to be a cereal. While Dr. Montel was hurrying over to see his psychoanalyst, Jane rushed home to tell her mother and Ace what had happened on her second visit to the good doctor's office.
Well, dear, he didn't yawn today. I told him a story about being in a car with you, who later became Mr. Ace, my husband, and a train was coming around the hill, and it looked like it was going to hit the car, and then I stopped. Well, you could have knocked him over with a fender.
You mean you told him the story up to that point and walked out?
Well, I haven't figured out the finish yet.
Isn't that awful?
But Janie, I don't understand. Didn't the doctor even examine you for bruises? You might have gotten into an accident with the train.
Oh, no, Mother. You don't understand. He isn't that kind of a doctor. He's a doctor for mental conflicts.
Mental conflicts? I never had those, Janie. Is it anything like dizzy spells?
Oh, no. Mental conflicts is for people who worry.
Worry? Who doesn't worry? Except my sister, your Aunt Wilma. She used to worry all the time. And then one day she decided to stop worrying. And overnight, her hair turned brown.
Mother, maybe you better come with me tomorrow to see Dr. Montel.
It was at this point that Ace lost track. He queried Jane.
Jane, you're not going back there tomorrow.
Oh, I have to go back. I have to figure out a finish for that story and tell it to him. Wait a minute. Tomorrow I can't go. I took some material to the dressmaker the other day. I have to go for a fitting. Dear,
What?
you'll have to go in my place.
You want me to go be psychoanalyzed in your place?
Unless you want to go in my place to the dressmaker for a fitting.
Yes, okay, but I'll go, Jane. I want to visit that doctor. Maybe I can help him.
The next morning, Ace went to see Dr. Montel. The office was just as Jane had described it, tall, dark, and brown. He was greeted by a nurse in a short leather seat at a desk.
Good morning. May I help you?
I want to see Dr. Montel.
Do you have an appointment?
Yes, 11 o'clock.
What's the name?
Mrs. Ace.
Oh, yes. I have it here in my book, right here. Mrs. Ace.
Yes, Jane Ace.
To be sure. Of course. The doctor will see you in a moment. Won't you have a chair, Mrs. Ace?
No, you don't understand. You see, yes, thank you. I'll sit right here.
No, not here. Over there, against the wall. That's it, Mrs. Ace. Just relax. The doctor will be with you in a moment. Don't get excited. Don't be nervous. Everything's going to be all right.
I'm not excited and I'm not nervous.
That's right, Mrs. Ace. Just relax. The doctor will buzz when he's ready for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you are looking well today, Mrs. Ace.
It's just this makeup.
Pancake?
Well, no, thank you. I just had breakfast.
The doctor will be with you in just a moment, Mrs. Ace. Would you like to look at this magazine?
Well, yes, I don't mind.
No, don't get up. I'll slide it over to you across the floor.
Oh, thank you. Oh, the Ladies' Home Journal, yes.
Yes, there are some lovely new dress designs in this month's issue.
Well, and that reminds me, I wonder how I'm making out with that dress I'm having fitted over at the dressmaker's.
You're having a fitting at the dressmaker's later on, Mrs. Ace?
No, I'm over there being fitted now.
Okay, the doctor will see you in just a moment, Mrs. Ace.
Well, thank you. Yes, I have to go to the dressmaker for everything. I just simply can't find my size in ready-mades. Even hose, I have to have them made special.
Oh, me too, Mrs. Ace. And the nylons they sell you these days. This morning, I put on a brand new pair of nylons, and no sooner did I get here when I got to run all the way up to here.
Really? Up to where?
Look, Mrs. Ace, all the way up to... Oh, the doctor will see you right now, Mrs. Ace.
Now he sees me. This is psychoanalysis?
Go right in.
Oh, thank you. It's been nice almost seeing you.
Remember me to Mr. Ace.
Come in, Mrs. Ace. Well, I'm happy to. Who are you?
I'm Mr. Ace.
Oh, you're the one who later became Mr. Ace.
So what goes on here? Yes, I'm Mr. Ace. Jane couldn't make it today.
Oh, no. I was hoping she would come. I've been on pins and cushions since she left here. I've been going besmirk.
Besmirk?
Yes, I've been trying to write a paper on her history, but my bearings are all balled up.
Oh, brother.
Even my wife can't understand what's happened to me, and we've been insufferable companions for years.
Murder.
I've always been so full-faced and fancy-free.
Look, about Jane, Doctor. I don't want my wife coming here anymore. Will you please tell her she doesn't need you?
Not come here anymore. She built the story up to the psychopathic moment, and then she walked out. She's got to tell me what happened. Wait, you were there. You can tell me. You were speeding along in your car. The train was coming around the hill. Woo! You couldn't stop. The train couldn't stop. What happened?
Well, we were killed.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ace. Thank goodness. You took a load off my... You were killed?
Look, Doctor.
Interesting case. Lie down, Mr. Ace.
Me?
Very interesting. Now, I want you to tell me the story of your life from as far back as you can remember.
Well, I was born in a Wild West show at the age of 3.
And?
That doctor will never forget that hour if he lives to be 12 years old. Ace fixed his wagon because the very next day in his office...
That's right. Just lie back comfortably and relax. Now I want you to continue the story from where we left off.
Well, Doc,
after
I
we got out
got
of the train
out
wreck,
of the Wild West
the
show,
boy who
I
later
decided
became
to
Mr.
become an
Ace,
Indian.
my husband, dear, please, you're pushing me off the couch.
Well, move over, Jane. I gotta have some room.
Move up a little. The palms of your feet are hanging over the end of the couch.
I can't move over. You push over a little.
I can't. There's no room.
Well, somebody's got to move.
All right, children. All right. If it makes you happy for me to move, I'll move.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have enjoyed the nostalgia from the past of our old-time radio show. Our cast of characters in order of appearance: Margaret Norris was played by Kathy B. Jane Ace by Lori B. Goodman Ace was played by David I. and Dr. Montell by Tom F. The mother was Anna Marie K. and the nurse Joan F. Your narrator is Jeff H., the sound editor Luke H., the director and producer Tina H. Until next time, this is the PPYC Players signing off.